Alright, what's up guys? New deck profile today. We are doing Legendary Ocean, or Umi. This is one of my favorite decks of all time. When the structure deck came out when I was a kid, I bought it instantly. I really have always loved this deck. It was so much better than the Fire deck. But finally, we have some new Legendary Ocean support. I've actually been working on this deck for a couple of weeks. I didn't want to just throw out some garbage for you guys. I actually wanted to really put the effort in. I could have just thrown something out a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to really test the deck and make sure that I have a very good build. So let's get started. Three copies right off the bat of Ocean Dragon Lords. This is one of the new cards. This is like the best new card that has come out. It's based on Karyu Shin, which is the shark thing that killed Mako Tsunami's father, and now he can't find him. But this thing's actually really like outrageously good. So first of all, it has an effect where it's a continuous effect where you and your opponent can only control one monster that's non-water. That effect continuously applies onto the field. So the second you normal summon this, both you and your opponent have to send all monsters that are not water to the graveyard until each of you control only one. That effect, again, it does not activate. Normal summons don't start a chain, so your opponent literally cannot negate that effect. They can't like strike that effect. They can't I don't know, they can't effect veiler that effect. They can't imperm that effect, because the second this is normal summoned, this happens automatically. It's continuous. It doesn't start a chain. Normal summons don't start chains. That effect doesn't start chains. They have to do it immediately on normal summon. They can imperm, but that effect won't be stopped. Like, that effect is just disgusting. It's really good. It's one of the best parts of the deck. It creates a control element. In addition to that, it helps you go second, because even if your opponent has a board of like 5 negates, if you just manage to normal summon this, they literally have to get rid of all of their monsters except for one of them. Now you only have to worry about one monster. It's like insanely good against decks that put up really big boards. But yeah, this is one of the cards that really helps you to go second. Or, I mean, going first, going second is still good. Also has another effect that's really good, which is once per turn, you can either search one Legendary Ocean card. I'm sorry, I think it's an Umi, one card that counts as Umi. It lets you search a Karyu Shin card or a Sea Stealth card. So you can search 3 different types of cards, and there's a ton of new cards that you can actually search in addition to older cards. That effect is, again, very good. That's once per turn, so every single turn you can get an additional +1. This card's crazy. It's a +1, and it's like a crazy board-breaking floodgate effect. It's like very good card design for that. It's the boss monster that we really actually needed. Next, we've got 3 copies of Electric Jellyfish. This is another really good card. It's one of the new cards. So what this card basically does is you can send an Umi from your hand, field, or from your deck to the graveyard for cost, and then you can special summon a water monster from your hand. That is effect number 1. It also has a second effect where if your opponent activates a monster or spell effect while you control Umi, I believe, yeah, if you can, while you control Umi, you can negate that effect, and then this card gains 600. Like, literally, there's no cost to it. You negate an effect, and you gain 600. There's literally no drawback. Other than you have to control Umi, there's no drawback to that effect. Next, we play 3 copies of Warrior of Atlantis. This came from an era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where search cards were on monsters, and I actually really like that from a card design standpoint, because now Terraforming has gotten hit on the ban list, but thankfully I still have this thing. That way I'm guaranteed to see my copies of Umi, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this basically, you discard and you search Legendary Ocean. You can't search Umi, but you have to specifically search Legendary Ocean. But it's still pretty good. Again, Terraforming got hit, but it really doesn't affect me negatively. Next, we've got 1 copy of Mega Fortress Whale. This card I was considering cutting, but it's a pretty good boss monster to just kind of have access to. There's actually a variety of ways that you can summon it. You can summon off the new trap card. You can summon it off the jellyfish. You can summon it off of a variety of different things. If you have Fish Sonar, you can basically normal summon this thing just by tributing the normal monster you summon. There's a variety of ways where you can actually summon this thing pretty easily. But basically, what it also does is, if Umi's on the field, you can make it so all your water monsters can attack directly. That usually is a game ender right there, because there's no restriction. It's like not weak water monsters. Literally all water monsters can attack directly. You can usually just win the game if you have that guy on the board. Your opponent will literally never see you coming. You just activate that effect, make everything attack directly, attack for 8,000. Doesn't matter what kind of board they have. So that's effect number 1. During your opponent's battle phase, it has a quick effect where it can destroy an opponent's monster, and then also has an effect where if it leaves the field, it can search or summon a level 5 or higher water warrior monster, but that effect doesn't come up because I'm not playing the legendary fisherman guy. So, but generally, he's like a good card to help you finish games. He interacts very well with Sea Stealth too, because you can summon it during your opponent's battle phase and then activate that effect, pop an opponent's monster. So it actually does come up pretty well. Next, we've got one copy of Doomkraken. This card's just kind of like a cool one of. Basically, if Umi's on the field, you can bounce a monster that you control, destroy a monster your opponent controls, and then special summon this to the field. It also has a cool effect where it can negate an attack. So sometimes that does come up if your opponent tries to attack over one of your weaker monsters or tries to attack over the Maiden of the Aqua, you can actually just block the attack. Next, we play one copy of Maiden of the Aqua. This is another card that's like a really old card. This is a part of the reason why I couldn't do this deck profile earlier. I literally could not find this card. I finally found it. I found like 3 fake copies of this card. But finally, I actually do have it. This card's very good. It is always counted as Umi while face up on the field. So you can, the new trap card, Karushin's Dark Reef, destroys Umi and lets you summon 2 monsters that includes Umi in its name. You summon this and any other one of these monsters that I've shown you so far, and then all of their effects that require Umi to be face up on the field are still applied because this is Umi while face up on the field. So that is literally the only reason that you play this card. Next, we play one copy of Giga Gigo. You play the level 5 because the level 5 has better level synergy. You can play the level 9 if you want to because it has 2950 attack, and you can summon this for free off of Fish Sonar. And it's a pretty big monster, but I think that level synergy wise, this is just better because this turns into, under Legendary Ocean, this turns into a level 4, and Karushin turns into a level 4, and then you can go into Bahamut Shark, and then Totally Awesome, which is pretty good. So that's why I run... which is why I run this one. I just think it's better. And then you also have access to level 5 water XYZ monsters. So I think it just definitely has better synergy. Like if you want more attack power, you go with the other one, but synergy wise, this is better. The next one, this is something I haven't seen anybody play, but this is something that I'm playing. I play one copy of Magical Libra. So you're probably looking at this like, why are you playing this? Yeah, this card's actually really good because, again, you can summon this card for free off of the Fish Sonar if you control an Umi, and then you get to summon a free normal water monster. This is a normal water monster, but it's also a normal water monster that just so happens to be a tuner. So you can actually summon this totally for free, and then you can help you go off. It's a level 4, and it gives you water synchro plays, which when we get to the extra deck, it'll make a ton more sense. You can also go into Needle Fiber and use all of the various cards to interrupt your opponent during their turn with Needle Fiber. Yeah, it just opens you up to a lot of really cool plays, and I actually generally like to play 2 different water monsters. It gives you access just to make it a little more clear to a lot of cool things. Like it gives you access, if you have like a jellyfish in this thing, you can go into the Bahamut Shark. If you have like this in a level 4, you can go into Abyss Dweller, you can go into White Aura Whale, you can go into Adamancipator Dragite. It gives you incredible versatility. And again, this is so easy to access because you have the trap card that accesses it for free, or you have the Fish Sonar. So either way, like, you almost always get to this card anyway. But yeah, those are the monsters. That is kind of like my addition to the deck. Next, we play 3 copies of, and you have to play 3 of this, 3 copies of Legendary Ocean. You will go through them because you have to destroy your own, you have to send them to the graveyard, you have to pop them. It's cool that they have cool new effects where you can destroy your own Legendary Oceans. Legendary Ocean, it's weird. It's like, it's always been a part of like the archetype where you destroy your own Legendary Ocean and then you get to gain advantage by doing that. Yeah, you destroy your own Umi. In this particular case, you can send Legendary Ocean to the graveyard with the jellyfish, so you don't have to draw it later. You can send it to the graveyard with the trap card, and then again, just kind of like bring it back for free. But yeah, it's really good. It lowers all your levels in your hand, and it's actually, funny enough, this card is actually very good against splites. So if you activate this against splites, all of their water monsters become level 1 instead of level 2, and then they can't make Totally Awesome. So it just completely like wrecks their entire game. And especially if you just drop it on the field and go, okay, I pass, and then they start trying to combo off, and you're like, wait, you can't do that. Deep Sea Diva becomes a level 1. The Swap Frog becomes a level 1. Dupe Frog becomes a level 1. Ronin Totem's a level 1. They're all level 1s. They can't go into Totally Awesome. They can't go into their bigger splites. It actually shuts them down like a lot. But yeah, it can be very good. Next, we've got 3 copies of Fish Sonar. This is the new search spell. This is another one that it lets you add a water monster from your that mentions Umi in its text. A monster that mentions Umi in its text from your deck to your hand, and then if you control a Umi on the field, you can actually special summon a free normal water monster from your deck, like totally for free. So that again is just such a great effect. I actually really like this card. I like the design. It's actually good in Phantasm Spirals too. Next, you play 1 copy of Sea Stealth 2. This is another one. You only have to play one because you can search it. It counts as Umi while face up on the field. So again, if you pop your own Umi, you have this thing on the field. And then it has another effect where at the start of the battle phase, well, first of all, water monsters can't be targeted, but also it has an effect where at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon a water monster from your graveyard or from your hand, and then during the end of the battle phase, you have to destroy it. But again, this has cool synergy with a variety of cards. It has cool synergy with it has cool synergy with the Doom Kraken because it can block attacks. It has cool synergy with the Mega Fortress. And then there's other cool things that you can do. Like, for example, like if your opponent's about to enter battle phase, they have like 3 or 4 monsters. You could just summon this, and then this just makes them send everything that's except for 1 monster to the graveyard. So again, it's just like really, really cool synergy with that. Also, you can protect the monster that would be destroyed at the end of the battle phase with Fury of Karushin, and in addition to that, you can actually use the effect of Sea Stealth you can special summon the monster and then banish it with Sea Stealth so that it doesn't get destroyed during the end of the battle phase, and then it comes back during the end phase with Sea Stealth. So you can like do cool things to dodge around the negative ramifications of this card. Yeah, it's a just outrageously cool card. Next, we've got 2 copies of Fury of Karushin. It basically searches Torrential Tribute, and then it protects. You can banish it from the graveyard when a water monster or water monsters would be destroyed, and then instead, this card gets banished. That's pretty cool. 1 copy of Rage of Karushin. It's like spot removal. That's a quick effect. It's searchable, and then if you destroy cards, your opponent can't use those monster zones. We play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Feel free to just play Pot of Extravagance if you need to. If this is like expensive, I get it. Like outside of this card, this is literally like the most budget deck of all time. So if you need to play Extravagance, play Extravagance. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, just swap it out. Next, we play 3 copies of Karushin's Reef. This is a new card that's like outrageously good. So basically what it does during your opponent's, you basically activate it, and you have to destroy an Umi while that's face up on the field, and then you can summon 2 monsters from your deck that list Umi in its text. So typically what you will do is you will summon the Ocean Dragon Lord and the Maiden of the Aqua. But again, this varies. So if you already have the Ocean Dragon Lord, then you'll just summon you won't summon it, you'll just summon Maiden in the Aqua and like Electric Jellyfish. But basically you will just summon the Maiden in the Aqua and something else, and it will maintain having Umi face up on the field. And then it has an additional effect where it can summon any number of normal water monsters from the deck, which in this case would be Gagagigo and the Magical Libra. You can summon both of them. So it really, like, the advantage that this card creates is just outrageous. And then you're locked into water monsters, but based on what I've shown you, we are literally just playing water monsters, so it doesn't even matter. Next, we play 2 copies of Sea Stealth. Still one of my favorite cards. It offers you protection, protects your back row, protects your face-up back row by banishing a water monster. It also, when a water monster is level 5 or higher battles, it destroys your opponent's monster automatically. It's just a really, really cool card. I've always really liked Sea Stealth. We play 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. I couldn't find my higher rarity copies. I don't know where I put them, but these will have to do. But this, you basically search off the Karushin, and you can obviously protect whatever cards you would destroy of your own with the Karushin spell. Next, we've got Solemn Strike. 3 copies of Solemn Strike. It's just a very monster-heavy meta right now, so this card actually does very much... This card very much does go in. And then we play 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. Back row decks are a little bit of a rough time, and then I play 1 Lightning Storm. I know it's like a weird ratio. I was actually thinking about Twin Twisters instead, but sometimes you're forced to go second. It can get a little annoying. This is supposed to be a Twin Twister, but yeah, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 1 Lightning Storm usually does the trick to end games. I know it's like a weird like master duel sort of what is it called, ratio, but yeah, those are the ratios I play on that. And then let me show you the extra deck, and then I'll show you guys some combos here so that I can show you kind of what the deck can do. I'll show you one combo. For the extra deck, we play one copy of a Starboy, just good water link. Area, the Water Charmer. This can actually take water monsters to their opponent's graveyard. So you've got a few different water decks that are going to be decent. You've got Tier Elements are going to have, they have one water monster. You have Splites, which obviously have Totally Awesome. And then in addition to that, you also have Marincess, which also have water monsters. So this card can actually steal your opponent's water monster. Pretty decent. Then we've got Crystron Hecklefibrax. We can make that off of the Magical Libra, so you can do a variety of plays there. We've got the Bahamut Shark and the Totally Awesome that you summon off of it. That's that one. We've also got a variety of kind of like oddball cards here, that oddball XYZ monsters that kind of help. We've got Abyss Dweller. We've got the Frozen Fitzgerald Lady. We've got the Full Armored Crystal Lancer. These are just for like rank 5s. And we've got the Crystallized, which you can just make off of by overlaying on top of that 94 on top of the Full Armored. And then we've got, of course, the Divine Arsenal Zeus with any of our XYZ monsters. Next we play one copy of TG Hyper Librarian. One copy of Desert Locust. This is activate during our opponent's turn. White Aura to finish games, and Adipanticipator Risen. There's one more card that's missing here that I occasionally go into, which is the White Aura Monteros, and that is the entire extra deck. Let me show you a quick combo of what you can do. This is going to be like a pretty basic start. Obviously, if you have a full hand, you could do a lot more, but I'll show you guys a simple combo here that you can do with the deck that will, I think, it's pretty cool. So we're going to start with Fish Sonar and any access to Legendary Ocean. That's it. That is our start. Legendary Ocean, we obviously play like 6 copies of this, and Fish Sonar is Fish Sonar. You can also do this combo in alternative ways with like Electric Jellyfish and one of the monsters that we would be searching, but obviously if that's not here right now, I can't really show you. But yes, we've got Legendary Ocean and yep, Legendary Ocean, Fish Sonar to start. We play 6 copies essentially of this because we've got the Warrior Atlantis in there, and Fish Sonar, we have a ton of copies. We have 3. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to activate the Legendary Ocean, then we're going to activate the Fish Sonar. Fish Sonar is going to allow us to search a monster that has Umi in its text, which will be the Karushin, and then we get to special summon a monster from our deck that's a normal water monster. So we're going to special summon the Yugioh. We're going to summon him. Then we're going to normal summon the Karushin, activate his effect, in order to search for a card that has Sea Stealth, that has Umi in its text, or a Karushin card, or a Sea Stealth card. So we're going to search the Karushin Dark Reef. Next, this is a level 4 monster now, and this is a level 4 monster now because Legendary Ocean lowers all water monsters by 1 level. So we're going to overlay these two, since they're both level 4. We are going to go into a copy of Bahamut Shark. We're going to activate Bahamut Shark, detaching the Yugioh in order to special summon Totally Awesome. So now we've got Totally Awesome on board. We're going to set this Dark Reef, and we're going to pass turn. It doesn't seem like a really assuming board, but it actually is pretty good. During our opponent's turn, we're going to wait for them to like normal summon something. Like normal summon literally any monster. As soon as they do that, or if they activate like if they activate Spawn Trap Card Destruction targeting Legendary Ocean or this card, or if they normal summon something, we're going to activate the Dark Reef. We're going to destroy the Legendary Ocean, and now we can special summon from our deck using the Dark Reef. We are going to special summon, in this particular case, we're going to special summon a Karushin, and we're going to special summon the Maiden of the Aqua from our deck. The reason we do this is once they've normal summoned a non-water monster, we wait for them to do that. Now they're locked into only that monster. They can't summon any more non-water monsters. They can only control one. This is Umi on the field, and in addition to that, we will actually special summon any number. This Karushin card actually allows us to summon any number of water monsters, normal water monsters from our deck. So we've got these guys, and then we're going to summon the magical Libra. So now our opponent can basically, they can't really do much. They can't summon any monsters that aren't water, and we have a negate on board. So if they really, really had something that would be outrageously annoying to us, we could just tribute this and then negate their effect and then add back a water monster from our graveyard. So it literally wasn't even like that big of a deal. We have a negate, and then we are this. Basically, this can definitely play around like a lot of different issues. This can play around like Harpy's Feather Duster. This can play around Lightning Storm. This can play around a lot of different. It can play around a lot of different negates, even like Forbidden Droplets and what's another one? It can play around Dark Ruler No More, because if they Dark Ruler No More us, it literally wouldn't affect us, because they would Dark Ruler No More these two, and then we would still be able to summon these three. And then they'd still be locked into summoning one water monster regardless. Like, it literally, this board plays around so many different things because you do it in like multiple phases. So even if they have like spot removal or negates, destruction cards, like none of that matters because you do this in a variety of different steps. Next, it'll go back to our turn. They control one monster. We draw for turn. This is a tuner. This is a Maiden of the Aqua. This is a tuner. This is a level 4 monster. We can just get rid of these two, and then we can, this goes to the top of the extra deck, of course, because it's a pendulum monster. And then we can go into a variety of things. We can go into a Dragite, which is a spell or trap card negate, or we can just go into a White Aura Whale, which will destroy all monsters our opponent controls. And then we can just attack from game from here, because we have this, and we can just use Karushin to go search. Karushin can give us Legendary Ocean, boost them up by 200 attack points each, and that is definitely game right there. So it's a pretty cool board that you can make off of this deck, and it gives you a lot of different variety with the different normal monsters that I play, the Yugioh and the Magical Libra. But that is the end of the deck profile. I think that's the combo that I'm going to show you today. I think it's a pretty cool start, kind of start learning the deck. But thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and have a great day.